to play with a player like him, and I think we've had a lot of great additions, to the offense. And I think we're looking forward to getting out there and getting some live bullets, some live action. But I grew up a fan of his, and we played in the same offense in college, so we got to laugh a little bit about that. But we got some great pieces, and looking forward to seeing how it fits together.
Are you willing to throw a riskier ball when you know he's on the other end of that?
I mean, guys like AJ, they come up with it more times than not. So he's made a lot of plays in his career, and scored a lot of touchdowns. So I got a good connection with him building through training camp, and looking forward to seeing what our guys, all our skilled group does. I think we got a great group of doing.
Now, your defense made life tough for everybody you played last season. What have you observed in terms of how they've elevated?
They make it tough for us in practice. That's the biggest thing. They're good up front. They're good in the secondary, and I think the biggest thing with them, they play together. They got great players at all three levels, so it's fun to watch our defense. I kind of sit over here and look on the iPad a little bit, but it's fun to watch our defense, especially at home with our crowd going. It's fun to watch.
Well, hey, Drake, appreciate you joining me. Happy early birthday to you, a couple days away, and a happy birthday to A.J. Brown's wife, Kelsey. You guys have the weekends off, so I hear some celebrations may be ahead this weekend. Back to you guys.
Kaylee, thank you. Unscripted television, so you have a 52-yard play in the middle of an interview. Sorry, folks. We don't have a take two. And then you have another pass here to Amani Marshall, and they're already down at the 13-yard line as the drive continues. Gabriel tries to cut it back the other way, cannot get around that corner and tackle back at the 17. But what you saw during the middle of the interview was a 52-yard pass caught by Ben Patterson. So right now you got fourth down, and in comes the field goal group.
Yeah, how classy a guy is Drake May. What a future he has, and one of the faces of this league. Great job last year. You can only imagine, but not just A.J. Brown, but Dobbs on the other side. Second year in this system. Trevion Henderson, Stevens. I mean, they're loaded.
Finished second to Matthew Stafford in the MVP race. Here's Schmidt now attempting this field goal from 35 out, and that one is good. So 3 scoring drives for every team this weekend around the National Football League. Pick fielded at the 3. Jermichael Hasty up to the 30-yard line. You talk about May. At one point, he was, I think, the favorite to win the MVP up until about December. Then he cooled off. Matthew Stafford got red hot, and Stafford, won the award. And of course, he deserved every bit of it. But what a second season, and then to get Brown and to get Dobbs
comes in.
Right.
And I think there's something about kind of going to that graduate level with this Josh McDaniels system in his second year. In college, he never had the same coordinator. Alex Van Pelt, his rookie year, was the offensive coordinator. So this is the first time he's really had a chance to build and grow in the same system.
Here's Baron Morton now, and the receiver, it's off his foot. Is it a live ball? Cleveland thinks it is. And they will celebrate. Easton Mascarenas Arnold.
Is an interception. First down, Cleveland.
Now what I saw is Dupree, the receiver, he started to turn and block. He didn't even know the ball was coming his way. He saw Morton get outside of the pocket. He thought he might be taking off, so he kind of gave up on the play. See him start to block there, and you called it right off the lower calf, like his foot, up into the air, and the Browns get a big turnover, which has been an area over the last 3 years that's been a real Achilles heel. They're minus 38 in the last 3 years in turnover margin.
Speaking of Achilles heel,
right there.
Right there.
Right there.
There you go. Visual proof. From the 31-yard line, Browns now first down, waning seconds of the first quarter. And a whistle here. So Carl Cheffers was going to be the referee tonight.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
But instead, Carl's going to be upstairs, and taking his spot is the son of Walt Anderson, who was on the crew, Derek Anderson. So he's getting up. You like the coordinators now. They get to call plays. Carl says, hey, listen, why don't you take the game tonight?
Get some reps.
Absolutely. From the 36-yard line, final play of the quarter is Amani Marshall picking up 3. And that will take us to play pinball.
No.
Okay.
No.
Me neither. I used to love it.
Well, back in the day.
Yeah. Deep drop here. Gabriel over the middle. Finds the open man. Outside the 30 and pushed back from that spot is Devon Booth, rookie out of Mississippi State.
A couple things we're seeing is not just Gabriel executing well, but the offensive line doing a pretty good job as well, giving him time to be able to work through his progressions. Kind of bouncing around there, worked around, maybe eventually found his third and fourth target. See what he does here on third down and see if New England dials up some pressure. Try to get him out of this rhythm he's been playing with. 8 and 9 so far you see there.
And 2 touchdowns. 3rd and 8.
Hey, 49 alert on. 49.
And stop for no gain. You know, normally quarterback competitions are, Watson against Sanders, but who's going to be number 3? And you're seeing what Gabriel can do tonight. And then we're going to take a look sooner than later at Taylon Green, a fantastic athlete who, of course, had everybody crazy at the combine.
Yeah, I mean, he is a uberly talented and athletic young guy, 6th rounder, 6'6", 230. Will get the second half. And again, much like Dylan Gabriel has had to get mental reps to try to get comfortable and familiar with this offense.
47-yard attempt here. Andre Schmidt will be their regular season kicker, and that kick squeezes its way through the left upright. 3 more. Cleveland scores 20-7. Well, we talked about it at the open. It's been the big story here in Cleveland, and there is Deshaun Watson. And most everybody who follows football knows that here's a guy who was the belle of the ball. He was the guy in Houston when he came in as a rookie. They loved him. And he played great for them. And then, of course, it all got turned around. And here he is now, and a chance to save a career that right now looks like it's bottomed out, but he's got a chance to bounce back. We'll see.
He does, and he's got a new system and a lot of players that are very talented around him at receiver, running back, and tight end. I think that the thing that a lot of people talked about was the press conference and how the fans were booing him, and he kind of lost his cool after that game against Buffalo. If you put yourself on the field and you think about your home stadium, and obviously it's been a disaster, but you could see how a guy could lose his cool and say something like that. But it's out of his system. I think you'll never see him talk about that again. But I think at the same time, he's got to go out and execute. I mean, that's what it comes down to in the NFL. I mean, he has not played winning football since he's been in Cleveland. It's been a disaster. But moving forward, he's worked 22 months to get back into this position. He could have taken his money and just not come back. Something drove him to come back to want to play again. And he's here at 30 years old. See what he can do.
Yeah, a couple of Achilles.
Sure, college at Clemson, whether it's Dabo Swinney, his wife Kathleen, any of his teammates, anybody at Houston early in his career. I mean, that's really the guy that everybody knew. That's why when that news broke, everybody was kind of like, whoa, what's going on? Everybody was kind of surprised. But I don't know. I'm a guy that believes in everybody deserves second opportunities, and I know that this has been a disaster, one of the worst trades maybe in the history of the NFL. But he's still a 30-year-old, and at one point was viewed as one of the top quarterbacks in the league with 72 career starts. And we'll see what he can do in Todd Monken's offense.
Coming out the side door this time is Morton, and he'll pick up the first down. On a 2nd and 9, he scampers for a total of 14.
Just one last thing about it. Like, no matter who's the quarterback, I mean, let's say it's Deshaun. You look at Fannin at tight end, Junkins in the backfield, these freshmen or these rookies, Concepcion and Boston at receiver. There's an abundance of young talent around the quarterback position. But they are minus 38 in turnover margin over the last 3 years. They just got to play smart football on the offensive side and rely on the defense to keep them in every game and just not lose it on the offensive side.
On first down, Finn in the backfield, fighting his way from a gain of 1 to about 6 or 7. Second down now. A closer look now at Morton. Rookie out of Texas Tech. He was the 234th pick in the draft, so that meant he went in the 7th round. 26 wins as a starting quarterback down at Texas Tech. He's older than Drake May. not quite as experienced, at least professionally. 2nd and 4. Off the fake, deep drop. Flushed out, throws, caught on the run. And that is Arkin, Tanner Arkin, who is a rookie out of Illinois, short of the first.
One thing about Baron Morton is not only the numbers he put up there, but when he got to Texas Tech, they were a program that was, 6-7 wins, kind of their normal year. And he was a part of that team when they transitioned to becoming a team that is starting to win 11 and 12 and trying to get to a playoff spot. And he engineered that attitude in 36 career starts in Lubbock, Texas. So he's got a lot of moxie. Kind of understands how to play the position. That's why they went out and drafted him late in the draft last spring.
Hasty picks up the first down.
And think about this: his entire high school career in Texas and in college never was in a huddle. Never was in a huddle. He's looking to the sideline like a lot of the college and high school offense, looking at 3 or 4 signs, Daffy Duck and, Bugs Bunny or whatever. That's how they called their plays. And he never did a cadence. It was ready, ready, clap. That's all he's ever done.
Never saw Mighty Mouse? First down, wide open inside the 25. Big gainer there. Pass is caught by Kyle Dixon, rookie out of Culver Stockton. Kaylee, what you got?
Well, guys, Baron Morton told us he feels right at home being coached by Mike Vrabel because his new head coach reminded him of his high school coach, also known as his dad, James. He said both coaches are hard on their players, but it brings out the best in them. Baron said the most important lesson his dad drilled into him: don't make the same mistake twice. Those are words to live by in Vrabel's book. And guys, unlike the NFL, there were limits to how hard his high school coach could push him.
Sure.
Forced by Baron's mom, Sunny. After one tough loss, she went full mama bear mode and made dad sleep in his truck.
West Texas high school football, Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say this. I think Josh McDaniels, as the offensive coordinator, play caller, he played for his dad in high school here in this area in Camp McKinley. There's the mom of Baron Morton right there. And Josh McDaniels played for his dad, Tom, and he understands what it's like to play for your dad in high school and how, again, it's something different about a kid that plays for his dad in high school.
Overthrown. Gennaro was open down the sideline. Couldn't connect. 3rd down and 10.
But imagine McDaniels inheriting a guy that's been in no huddle and shotgun his entire career. And Josh prides himself. There's his father right there. And, Josh prides himself on snap count, cadence, under center. And so it's been a massive transition for Baron Morton to try to adjust to the McDaniels system.
Imagine mom making dad sleep in the truck. 3rd and 10. Gets it away, caught. Can he pick up the first down? No. Tajon Palmer, first-year guy out of UAB.
When you don't ever call a play in a huddle, it's hard to imagine that. Now he said a play call is 7 words or 10 words, and he said he spent the entire spring trying to understand how to call the plays, so by the time he got to camp, he wouldn't be thinking about it.
Here's the virtual measurement. I think this works great in baseball. I love it in baseball. Baseball gets it done in about 2 shy with a naked eye, but who knows?
How you calling down to get this measurement? What are we doing?
I don't know. I'm trying to find somebody who has any clue what's going on here. Well, it's not Anderson's fault. Derek, who's refereeing tonight, Mike is basically saying, "Hey, come on, we saw it." We could have done 3 commercials.
It is short. 4th down.
Short by what? Huh? I think they just wanted to practice getting that in.
It's preseason. Everybody needs rest.
Very. 4th and 1. Going for it from the 14-yard line. Hand the ball off and plowing his way. Hassan Haskins for a first down.
That's a good surge up front. There's some good movement there, but watch 60, the right guard, pick it up. Nice job of being able to deal with that penetration. Gives Haskins, who's one of the more physical.
From the 13. Browns up by 13. Fake, looking. Down he goes. 16-yard line. Runs out of time. Corday Signor comes in for the sack.
You know, ideally, you watch in the NFL, this is where he's got to feel comfortable in making this throw right here. In the NFL, that's NFL open. And as he gets more and more reps, then he's going to find an opportunity to be able to get that ball out quickly. Started to his right, he was comfortable, but he just got to rip that right when he comes back to the backside. He's got to rip that, and that would have been a touchdown.
Injury timeout here. James Hudson III, backup right guard for the New England Patriots, and that'll stop play momentarily. This drive, the 12th play is coming up, 2nd and 13.
Here's Rudy, or Mike Rutenberg, the defensive coordinator for the Browns, taking over for Jim Schwartz. He was down in Atlanta last year with Jeff Ulbrich as the kind of that pass game coordinator. He's very excited to have this opportunity as a first-time defensive coordinator. And I think it was interesting talking to him. He said, you know, the first 3 or 4 weeks on the job, there's so many guys that stayed over on this staff outside of Jim Schwartz that he wanted to hear about that system that they ran so successfully these last few years. And then he spent the next 3 or 4 weeks talking to them about his scheme, and they just kind of melted the two together.
On 2nd and 13, pass caught at the 10. You know, Schwartz was very much in the mix to become the head coach after Stefanski went down to Atlanta. And Jim, very disappointed, decided, I'm out of here.
Yeah, you know, I think he's been a head coach in the past back in Detroit, and
right.
You know, he's felt that after the work that he did as a defensive coordinator, the success they had on that side of the ball, is he was going to get that opportunity. And when he didn't, you're right. I think he decided to take this year off and come back in 2027 somewhere. He'll surface somewhere.
3rd down and 7. Pass caught and out of bounds, about 4 yards shy of the first down is Hasty. I mean, it's unbelievable. Around the league, I think there were 21 new offensive coordinators this year, 21 out of 32. Wow. And 14 defensive coordinators and 10 new head coaches.
Wow. Go back to your time, going back to the 80s and 90s, early 2000s.
I thought you were going to say the 50s and 60s. Come on now.
No, I'm just saying. Like, you imagine saying that back with Dan Dierdorf and the boys?
Never.
I would have said that.
It's a brand new world. 26-yard attempt here for Borregales to try to tack on 3, which he does.
Not Frank as a player. Frank and you in the booth. But a little post-game party.
Got to keep fresh, right?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Yeah. You guys met in, you said, middle school.
10th grade.
10th grade, okay.
Early high school. Wow. Corley runs Thursday night in August.
In a preseason game.
You got it.
Trying to figure out who's on the field. Here we go.
Exactly right. That pass is overthrown, and incomplete. A flag is down. Cole Wilson, the intended receiver.
Well, Dylan Gabriel has had about as good of a start as he could have dreamed of tonight, with 4 series, 2 touchdowns, and 2 field goals. We got a roughing the passer that's going to give them a first down here to keep this drive alive.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 99, defense. Low hit on the quarterback. 15-yard penalty, automatic.
To try to get in there, and obviously anytime you come in low, referee are all over that. Makes the right call.
So 1st and 10. 6:03 left in the first half. Marshall, 2nd down.
Can't say it enough for people that are just maybe tuned in and, you know, you want to watch some football, so you're watching a little preseason football. Dylan Gabriel has had to get mental reps throughout all of camp. Hasn't gotten a lot of physical reps. It's been all about Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson. Todd Monken telling us we just didn't have time. We decided predetermined that we were going to give Shedeur a chance to battle Watson, and he's had to sit back and watch. But you would not know that by watching Gabriel in his 2nd year in the NFL with the Browns.
2nd and 8. Here he goes again on the money. First and goal. Joel Wilson with that grab.
Now, I did a lot of his games in college, and this isn't really shocking to me. This is really who he was.
17-yard line. Take two. From the 17. Good ball handling. Pass caught. Ryan makes the grab. He looks like a guy who's been in the league 4, 5, 6 years.
And I think the big thing is he's comfortable. You know, he's making good decisions. He's got great awareness, composed. He looks incredibly well prepared for a guy that hadn't played a lot. There's Shedeur. There's, of course, Deshaun. But I think he'd be the first one to tell you, you know, these backup offensive linemen are fighting for a spot and trying to prove to the coaches they belong on this roster. They've done a hell of a job themselves in giving him time to throw when he's been back there, whether it's boots, nakeds, or throwing from the pocket off of play action.
2nd and 10. Protected well. Fires. Caught. Touchdown. Flores. His third.
What is he doing?
4th in 2 weeks, 16 yards, and 6 points.
The local product, everybody made a big deal last week when he played Buffalo. He's from Menor High School here in Cleveland. Let's see if he got his hands underneath it.
Yep, I think so. We're looking at Terry.
Terry, hop in here, bud.
Yep.
So
Get a preseason
Kirk,
rep.
it does look like it hits the ground at some point. He got control first, but then he...
Ball hit the ground prior to the receiver gaining possession. It is an incomplete pass.
Again, if you're not familiar with the story, we said that Flores is a local product here, Menor High School, right here in Cleveland, went to Kent State, scored the touchdown against Buffalo. Everybody was excited for him. Forgot about the game ball. One of his teammates, Tyler Wallace, saved it for him. And then he comes in tonight for an encore. 2 touchdowns already tonight from Dylan Gabriel, almost a third until Terry took it off the board and we decided not to give him the touchdown.
Well, don't blame Terry. Terry didn't take it off the board. Terry, you're still perfect. So 3rd down and 9. Blitz gets it away, caught on the run, and he keeps it, the clock going on another pass to Larvidan, and that will set up a...
It's only 5'11", hasn't played a lot of football the whole camp, but composed once again and makes a very nice throw for that first down.
11 of 13, 179 yards. Looking for his 3rd touchdown pass of the night. Checks it down, and it's incomplete over the top. To Larvidan again, the intended receiver's already caught 3 tonight for 43 yards.
He wanted to make that throw to his tight end who was in motion there. Ryan came off of him, and then a smart throw on 1st and goal. You know, put it up there where your receiver can either make a play on it or it's incomplete. You come back ready to play here on 2nd and goal. Todd Monken is calling the plays. Josh McDaniels is not. Todd Monken, again, just wants to get more and more reps with this offense as he gets ready for his first year as a head coach.
To the outside. Can he escape? No, he cannot. Out of bounds he goes, 309. Mike Brown pushed him out. 3rd and goal.
I think this is an example for a lot of quarterbacks that are around in the NFL that maybe don't get a lot of reps, but they're fighting for a roster spot in that 3rd preseason game. They're getting a lot of mental reps. They don't get a chance to actually physically get out there and get reps and get a chance to show what they can do. And you get into a game like this, you really find out who's getting those mental reps and taking advantage of that with film, mental reps when you're standing on the sideline watching. Gabriel clearly has done his work to put himself in a spot tonight to play well.
From the 7, Gabriel caught inside the 5 to the end zone. Amani Marshall for the touchdown.
That's just man-to-man. The linebacker late in getting out there. Watch him right here, try to stay with
the extra point. Gabriel telling us yesterday, if nothing else, I just want to put something good on tape. Dylan, you have. It's been a lot of good stuff on tape.
Mission accomplished.